Hello? Hello? If we can get please people to sit down, take one of the chairs that are available right now and not block the entrance, that will be great.
Hi, folks. If you can just give us a moment, our clerk is trying to make sure that you guys can hear her instructions for everybody's safety. Thank you. If you can go ahead and repeat that to make sure that they're staying safe.
Thank you, council member. If you can please go ahead and take a seat, there's a few chairs available and not block the entrance, that will be great. Thank you.
Like, could the staff go outside? Should the staff go out?
Yeah, we do have fire capacity issues, guys. Cannot block the entrances. We've got a couple of seats up front.
Like the last 2.5 years of being like that.
We're actually going to bring us out of closed session. The council was in closed session at 4 o'clock in conference room 2A to consider conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, government section code 94956.9D4. And my report out is that there's nothing to report. So we're going to adjourn the closed session and we're going to bring us into open session. It's 5 o'clock. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Adams?
Here.
Councilmember Elwer is absent. Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Sanborn? Vice Mayor Sanborn?
Here.
Mayor Judice?
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, now if you'd stand, please, and join me. The City of Rohnert Park acknowledges indigenous peoples as the traditional stewards of the land. Let it be acknowledged that the City of Rohnert Park is located within the traditional homelands of the Federated Indians of Great and Rancheria, comprised of Coast Miwok and Southern Pomo peoples. Okay.
Open it up for public comment, sir.
Gavel, gavel.
What's wrong with you?
Now.
Go make your public comment, please.
Thank you, Madam Assistant City Attorney. What the hell are you trying to prove there, Mayor?
So we'll go ahead and sit down, and then we'll rise
Thank
again
you.
for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Like
Sorry
you knew
about
I
that.
wasn't going to be here, for Christ's sake. I'm going to expose the mayor once again for this silly land acknowledgement again. The mayor is trying to pull a fast one with this silly, foolish, racist land acknowledgement. He thinks he can make us all stand for the pledge and then do this thing with this land acknowledgement. You know, you got me the first time. You fooled me the first time you did this, okay? He wants us to stand and honor the Native Americans who never even lived on this land here. There is no evidence they lived anywhere around here in Rohnert Park. Rohnert Park is not ancestral land. It's bullcrap. There was no good hunting or fishing in this area here. You're a fraud, Mayor. This is all to find favor with the casino. It's pandering. It's political pandering. It's disgusting. You're pandering for campaign contributions. See, the mayor wants to move up to the county supervisor's position. That's where the big money is. He's kissing up to the casino, and so is the council. Yeah, you think it's funny. It's ridiculous to pay respect to the land. The land can't hear you. The land can't hear us. The casino has been sucking millions of dollars out of the community for years, and the mayor wants a piece of the action. The casino loves seeing us all stand and pay respect to the land. His speech is racist because it gives no respect to anyone else, including us taxpayers who stand up and go along. The casino doesn't care about the damn land, never have cared about the land, and never will care about the land. This is all about money and power. Stop it, Mayor. Just stop it. You make Rohnert Park and the citizens look silly and stupid. You have your head up so far up the casino's rear end, you can't even see straight. You are inviting a lawsuit, treating one group preferentially to another. Fellow citizens, do not stand for any more of this silly land acknowledgement. We don't need any more racism or division that you're trying to promote, Mayor, for your own political advantages. You're not king of Rohnert Park. How dare you try to not let me speak here at the beginning and try to bully me? You're a bully, you know, and I've schooled you 2 times before already, and you're still trying to bully me. Thank you to the city attorney for respecting the law that I've cited 2 or 3 times now. Your casino friends, you and your casino friends, with this propaganda, it just has to stop. Do what Katati's done. They moved this to the end of the meeting. You know why? Because they know it's wrong. They don't want any citizens in the room to hear about it. But by putting it at the end of the meeting, they're still kissing up to the casino for the mitigation money that's going to come their way. Thank you.
Would anyone else like to speak on the land acknowledgement? Please go right ahead. Go ahead, Peter.
Well, I respectfully disagree with a fair amount of what's been shared. And I will tell from my heart to your hearts that the land, the trees, the rocks, the streams, and our very imaginations are holding the very power and essence of God. That is who we are. We've been taught to be slaves. We're in a nation that's never seen liberty. We are the most powerful people in the most powerful state. And one genocide after the other, all we do is take turns as we keep our eyes blinded. Real eyes realize real lies. You all know that at least a good portion of what I just shared, you already know is true. We have people in prison all over the place, millions. This is the homeland originally of the indigenous. Maybe there was other people here. For example, we got the Tsalagi. They're known as the lost tribe of the city of David. They're called the Cherokee. They're actually from Egypt. And so I'm going to share with you something that ties into this, because even Gavin Newsom has done some things in the realm of the indigenous, which most people disagree with. And I don't like him a whole lot, but I actually agree with a few things he did with the waters and such. So this is for our children and for what I shared today. California families rise. Mark Andrews said, I've had the privilege for many years now to work with the director of California Families Rise, and we couldn't have a finer, smarter, and more energetic woman at the helm. My respects always to Michelle Chan, woman and mother warrior, a CPS and justice activist. Michelle Chan authored the Father's Rights Movement. Both of her activist ventures have hundreds of families and parents enraged and undermined by a corrupt system, having children separated from parents and their siblings for the purpose of money and nefarious organized pedophile operations. Long verified by FBI Chief Ted Gunderson, Private Investigator Monique Lassan, Detective James Rothstein, Deborah Tavares of StopTheCrime.net. These child abusing human traffickers fear the parents and families victims uniting so that they make that exceedingly difficult. So let us unite. Everybody here has reasons to join. We are the power. And the only thing that this system cannot handle is a general strike. So the very thing that everybody's complaining about, whether it's wars abroad or all the wars that are here, we've been funding ourselves all along. And we have the simple option of withholding our funds. I talked to the longshoremen, this is my last statement. I said, why don't we just do what Harry Bridges did? They said, oh, we got to have a big meeting, blah, blah, blah. And I said,
thank you, Mr. Alexander.
Deleted. I
Thank
shut
you,
down
Mr.
the port
Alexander.
for 3.5
Your time
hours
has
with 3 high
expired.
school boys back in 2016.
Thank you, Peter. Your time has expired. Okay, now would you please stand and we'll try to get through the Pledge of Allegiance. Thanks. Vice Mayor, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, hand over our hearts, and we'll begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. Please note that Councilmember Elward is present.
Thank you.
So next, we're going to do a mayor's proclamation proclaiming August 26, 2025 as Women's Equality Day in the city of Rohnert Park. Whereas on August 26, 2024, we mark the 105th anniversary of the enactment of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution, which secured the right to vote for women. Whereas in 1976, the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors established one of the first commissions on the status of women in the state of California with the purpose of promoting equal rights and opportunities that enhance the quality of life for all women and girls, and addressing issues of discrimination and prejudice that negatively affect women in Sonoma County. Whereas women constitute nearly 50% of our workforce, the majority of the students in our colleges and graduate schools, and an increasing number of primary breadwinners. Whereas in 2024-2025, Sonoma County women working full-time earned only 86% of what men earned, and those women working in agriculture and service industries, such as the majority of women workers in the Sonoma Valley, earned even less. Whereas, even with the gains women have made, more work remains to be done in many areas that directly impact equal pay for equal work, including access to quality, affordable childcare, affordable housing, and comprehensive health care for women, including reproductive and mental care. Whereas, the mandate for Women's Equality Day in 2025 is to accelerate efforts to eliminate systemic barriers and biases that impede women's progress, emphasizing the need for swift and decisive measures to achieve gender equality. Whereas the city of Rohnert Park is blessed to have an abundance of dedicated, passionate, and intelligent women, deserving of equal compensation, equal opportunity in all aspects of gender equity governing our city. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that I, Gerard Giudice, as mayor, and on behalf of the City Council, proclaim August 2026, 2025 as Women's Equality Day, celebrating the achievements of women and recommitting to gender equality in the city of Rohnert Park, including equal pay for equal work and accelerating the overall progress of women and girls. Thank you. And I thought it would be a wonderful gesture. As you see, I work with 4 other female council members and a female city attorney and a female city manager and a female city clerk, and the majority of our directors, department directors, are female as well. So I'm going to give this proclamation to every one of them. As I call your name, please stand up front, and I'm going to hand you your proclamation, and we're going to do this, and we're going to have a little kumbaya moment here. So Marcela Piedra, Michelle Marchetta Kenyon, please step up. Emily Sanborn, Susan Adams, Samantha Rodriguez, Jackie Elward, Betsy House, Jamie Cannon, Ali Giudice, Cindy Bagley, Vanessa Garrett, and Sylvia Lopez Cuevas. I saved the clerk for last. This is my workplace environment, huh? Beautiful. Let's give them a big round of applause, please. Missing one. Okay. Okay. We're going to do another proclamation because September 2025 is National Service Dog Month in the city of Rohnert Park. And whereas service dogs provide vital assistance, independence, and companionship to people with disabilities, including veterans, first responders, and community members. Whereas the National Dog Service Month recognizes the life-changing impact of these highly trained animals and honors the organizations and individuals dedicated to their training and placement. Whereas service dogs perform tasks that include guiding individuals who are visually impaired, alerting those who are deaf or hard of hearing, detecting medical emergencies such as seizures, low blood sugar, assisting veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, and supporting individuals with mobility limitations. Whereas Paws for Purple Hearts, a national nonprofit with presence in our region, is dedicated to improving the lives of America's warriors facing mobility challenges and trauma-related conditions by providing the highest quality service dogs and canine assistance therapeutic programs. Whereas Paws for Purple Hearts, alongside other service dogs organizations, help foster healing, dignity, and independence, bringing hope and comfort to those they serve. Whereas National Service Dog Month provides an opportunity to increase awareness of the critical role service dogs play and to encourage community support of organizations such as Paws for Purple Hearts, which are committed to that mission. Now, therefore, let it be proclaimed that I, Gerard Giudice, as mayor, and on behalf of the City Council, proclaim September as National Service Dog Month and encourage all residents to recognize and support the life-changing contributions of service dogs and the organizations that make their work possible. Thank you. And we have, from Paws for Purple Hearts, we have Marjorie Lee Rest and Claire Richardson. Would you like to come up and say a few words and share your dog? Aww. Okay, well, don't go anywhere because we're going to come up there and pay you a visit and pet the dog.
So nice to see you. Yeah, thank you so much. Oh, cute. Come on back and take a picture. All right. Let's give them a hand again, folks. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And And we just have one more to go before we get to public comment. Sorry. Okay. And finally, I have two more proclamations. Actually, I neglected to pass those out for Women's Equality Day in the city of Rohnert Park. Can I get Melanie Jones-Carter and Katerina Giudice to come forward?
Mayor, she just sent me a message. Oh, she's right there.
She's here.
Okay.
And welcome, and we'd love to hear from you. Sorry.
Thank you so much for this proclamation to the Sonoma County Commission on the Status of Women. I'm Melanie Jones-Carter, and I'm the vice chair for the commission. This year, the commission is hosting panels on homelessness, immigration, and mental health that impact women and girls in Sonoma County. We produced a white paper, which we hope would be helpful to you in your work. We invite you to attend our next panel on immigration, which is scheduled for 9/11. The progress on women's equity rights is like a relay race. And here in California, some extraordinary runners have carried the baton before us. Dolores Huerta organized farm workers and insisted that women lead in the fight for justice. Gloria Robinson, a celebrated community leader who co-founded Petaluma Blacks for Community Development, and whose activism and volunteer work reached deep inside the fabric of Petaluma and Sonoma. Sally Ride from Los Angeles became the first American woman in space, showing girls everywhere that science and stars are open to them. And Rita Moreno, a daughter of Puerto Rico, raised in California, shattered barriers in the arts, proving women of color could claim center stage. Alice Waco, a former nun, was a Santa Rosa teacher who spent decades in service to various local and global causes, and she was co-founder of the county's Peace and Justice Center. Each ran their lap with courage, but our race isn't over. In fact, some rights once won are now being rolled back. Across our nation, women are facing attacks on reproductive freedom, threats to health care access, and persistent gender pay gaps, challenges that affect Californians. Now the baton is in our hands, and in a relay, every second matters. As a former track athlete, I know that's true. Accelerated actions means defending reproductive rights, protecting women from violence, closing wage gaps, and ensuring women and girls have equal opportunity in every field, from politics to tech to arts. The finish line is clear: a California and a world where women and men run side by side with an equal chance to win. So let us run our leg with urgency, determination, so that when we pass the baton, it will be further ahead than when we received it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we're going to take a picture with you, and I apologize. Come on, let's take one more picture. Now we'll go to department head briefings. We'll do an informational report by Director of Community Services, Singley Bagley. regarding pickleball courts.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Thank you for having us. I have a brief update for you on the status of the Sunrise Park pickleball and tennis courts, and it's good news. So I just want to share that currently our city ordinance lists in 9.62.010 that it's unlawful to use any court that is not signed for its particular use. For example, you cannot do anything but tennis in a tennis court. You cannot play anything but pickleball in a pickleball court. Currently, the pickleball and tennis courts at Sunrise Park are signed as both pickleball and tennis. We do want to honor our commitment to the pickleball players in this community and throughout the county to convert those courts to permanent courts. And so we are moving forward with doing that, despite the fact that the pickleball project that we had on the table had to be pulled because of budget restraints. So right now, this is what the current configuration of the courts look like. On the left there, courts 1 through 6 are already permanent pickleball courts. Only pickleball play can happen in those courts. 7 through 12 are temporary courts painted on the top of permanent tennis court lines, which are courts 13 and 14. I know there's lots of lines out there. I tried to highlight them to make them clear. So this is what the current configuration looks like. What we are planning to do is move these to all permanent courts by one, installing new signage saying that these are for pickleball only. In order to do that, we are planning on drilling 12 permanent holes for pickleball courts on those 6 courts there. And then we're gonna paint over all the white lines. This is not a pretty slide, but I will tell you that it was less pretty before I drew on it. So these are just examples. The lines are pointing to the lines that we're going to paint over. So you can see the white lines will be painted in blue. And then the courts, 2 courts on the left and the 2 courts on the right have both blue and green inside the pickleball courts. The plan is to leave the yellow lines, paint over the white lines, and paint the back of those courts blue so that those 4 courts will be blue and yellow. The 2 courts in the middle don't need anything done to them, so they will remain green and yellow. Okay, so the project for that is that we've already ordered the new signage. It is en route. As soon as we get it, we will install that signage at Sunrise Park so that it will then immediately become permanent pickleball only, despite the fact that none of the work has been done. After that, we will do some drilling, and this is where things might get complicated. We have found markings that indicate that there is a potential that there are electrical lines running directly through the south 3 courts, exactly where the permanent poles need to go. But we are going to drill anyway, and we are going to try and see if maybe those are not exactly where they're marked, or if they're deep enough that we can still insert the poles into those spaces. If all is well, we will move forward and for sure install the 6 poles on the northern courts, potentially the 6 poles on the southern courts. Then we will tape off the courts and paint exactly what we just showed you. We'll paint all the white lines blue, paint those back sides of those 4 courts blue as well. Then we will install the nets, and then we'll reopen the courts. So there's just one slight potential hiccup in there, and that is whether or not those electrical lines run directly under there. If they do, we will try and get creative and troubleshoot once we're out there. We have been in communication with the Rohnert Park Pickleball Club, and we're happy to announce to you all tonight that this project is going to be done in-house with our streets and parks crew, and it's going to be funded by the Rohnert Park Pickleball Club. They are purchasing all of the netting, they're purchasing the paint for us, so this is definitely a true partnership, and we've been really happy to go out and meet with them multiple times. They are aware of the electrical potential problem, and that we are also going to do everything in our power to try and mitigate that and get creative on site. The planned timeline is to hopefully start this project early to mid-September and be completely done by the end of September, with courts reopened by the beginning of October. And that is our update.
Thank you very much. How about some questions or comments from council? Please.
Thank you very much. I've heard from the pickleball people, they're very happy with the, working with you and the time you spent to come out there and meet with them. And so on their behalf, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Please.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a sight of relief there because I've been really concerned. But thank you to you, Madam City Manager, for making this happen so that they at least have something there. My question is, so what about the tennis group? So what are we doing with them?
The tennis club currently uses the 8 tennis courts that we have at Magnolia Park. The tennis courts there are rarely used and just used by residents in the area, but we are wealthy in the tennis court arena in the city. So we feel like we're covered for tennis.
Okay, so thank you so much for finding a solution for our pickleball club. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember?
This is exciting, but if you're going to drill and you find electrical conduits, then what? And how much does that, what's a potential cost?
We brought Amanda from Public Works, who oversees our Parks and Streets teams, to answer that exact question.
Thank you.
So we are actually going to be drilling on the northern 3 courts, and then we are going to start with one of the southern courts. We're not going to saw cut or anything on the other 2 until we kind of know the underground conditions. And we're not going to be drilling there. We're going to be hydro excavating. So that's using water and a vacuum to delicately try and uncover the depth that we need. So if we do encounter the electrical conduit at a shallow depth, we'll have to kind of get creative there in the field. And we may not be able to move forward with those other 2 courts or even all 3 on that southern side. We'll have to make some field decisions and then kind of regroup.
Okay. What would it look like, or does it? I could be way off base here. Let's say there's electrical, what happens to the neighborhood? Does that affect their electricity?
That's a great question. So the electrical is solely connecting the court lights.
Okay.
Connecting the west side, which is where the source of the power is, over to the east side court lights. That is all that's in there.
Okay, perfect. I think those are all my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
I have no questions, but thank you for this presentation.
Yeah, no questions, but just thank you for sticking in there, with our residents. We had some major issues there with the budget, and thinking outside the box and convincing the pickleball folks that the city was going to be there, lock and step with them. And we have, and this creative solution, that you've come up with a public-private partnership, I think is great. I think it's a model. We've got a lot of parks, and we just did the master plan, right? So we're probably going to need some more of these collaborative efforts moving forward in a lot of different directions. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to do public comment. So this is how it's going to work. Our protocols indicate that we're only allowed to take 30 minutes of public comment, so I need my counsel to allot me another 15 minutes of public comment so I can hear everybody. Okay, does that have a second?
A second.
I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
How many comment cards do you have?
I have 21. I was going to allot 2 minutes per card.
How much more time if we give them each 3 minutes?
3 minutes is going to be an hour and whatever that is.
Oh.
21 more minutes.
How about
Yeah, thank you.
2.5 minutes, or 2 minutes is really fast, yeah. I think some people might,
While the council deliberates, please. Thank you.
I think as happened last week, I think some people, or 2 weeks ago, some people are not going to go their whole 3 minutes, but, if they can cut it down, great, but I think.
So are you making a motion?
I'll amend my motion to provide two and a half
that-
minutes. 2.5
2.5 minutes. Is that okay with the clerk?
I would second that.
Okay. We'll just do a vote of affirmation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Seeing none opposed, the motion carries 5-0. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to try to get through this in an organized fashion. Please remember, this is not an agendized item. Council cannot comment on any comments that you make. And no cheering and booing, because there are going to be opinions possibly on both sides of this, so we don't want folks to feel intimidated. So I'm going to call the first 6 up, and you'll line up, and then the clerk will start you.
Mayor, apologies. I'm going to assume if there's some of those comment cards outside, we want to give them time. If they're out in the lobby.
Yeah.
To get over
Okay,
here,
Tim, will you help us with that? Thank you. So Jim Bell, Stephanie Lennox, Molly Rubart, Michael Puccetti, and Kristen Van Nuys. Are those 5 people in the house? Perfect. Thank you, Sam. Okay, Jim, please welcome and go ahead and begin your comments. Thank you.
Very much. My name is Jim, and I'll keep it short. When Hewlett-Packard was built, it was a major building. I've lived in that area roughly within a mile for the last 40 years, so I know what's happened there. And the surrounding uses of that facility used to be basic land and pastures and farms. So zoning it industrial seemed to make sense at that time due to the size of the structures and what they were used for. Now that area is filled in much more with residential areas and continues down that path. Many people were exposed to that area only as we knew it, like Sally Tomatoes, going there for dinner or going there for their concerts. And then the building next to it had rented space that they had artists and people that had collections that they wanted to sell. And so it was open for that kind of use. I had no idea that there was even the industrial area back there that they're talking about putting this facility in at that time. Another issue has always been traffic. Traffic has been bad. I have an equestrian center and I do events just on the outskirts of Pengrove on Adobe Road, and the traffic has gotten much worse over 25 years. And the money that we were asked to put up for when we did our facilities was for new streetlights, for road widening, all the things that 30 years later, still none of it's done. On top of that, many traffic studies were done by Sonoma County, and all the suggestions that they had, none of those things have been done. So the area is a little tight on traffic. But the biggest concern in my mind is plastic and is it safe to microwave? We have no experience with that. Nothing to go back to and say, yeah, it's been working great for 50 years. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if there's a byproduct. I do know that all hazardous materials, whether it's Roundup, bug spray, whatever, all gets shipped and it is stored in plastic containers. And at some point, all those containers end up in the trash. They may not be fully empty. They may have residue of some type of chemical. So to feel that it's safe to microwave...
Your time is up, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Welcome.
Thank you.
Of course.
Council members, I am Stephanie Lennox, Sonoma County resident of 25 years and mom of 2 Credo High School students. I come to you today in 2 distinct roles. I begin with the honor of presenting the Change.org petition, 5,140 signatures from 5,140 citizens who stand unified in complete opposition to the city's promoting and permitting of Resynergy's plastics.
Please do not interrupt the speaker.
Incineration facility. If you are here and you sign this petition, would you please raise your hands? Standing before you now, please listen closely. Hear us say, protect us. Protect our health, protect our safety. Stop the permitting of Resynergy's toxic plastics microwave incineration facility. For years, you've been holding the hand of Resynergy, promoting their petrochemical plastic melting operation to be located 500 feet from 440 school children. For years, you've been promoting Resynergy's fossil-fueled heavy industrial operation to set up in our friendly, family-oriented city inside a growing, thriving business park. Let go of the cold, invisible hand of a petrochemical company and lock arms with the real, living, breathing people of Rohnert Park who are here today expressing their resolute demand that you stop the permitting of Resynergy's plastic incineration facility now. Resynergy states 70% of their microwaved plastics will turn to oil. That leaves us with 30%. Toxic petrochemical waste byproducts each and every day. Resynergy gets the money, we get their waste exhausted into our air, water, soil, pets, people, 24 hours a day, 350 days a year. They get the money and we get the sound, the smell, and scientifically proven increased risk of cancer, neurological disorders, respiratory problems, reproductive health issues, skin and eye irritations, and the mental health effects that come from living next door to a highly toxic, flammable, explosive petrochemical operation. Listen closely, hear us say, protect us, protect our health, protect our safety. Stop the permitting of Resynergy's toxic plastic microwave incineration facility now. I continue. as a mom of 2 who go to Credo High School.
Hi, good evening, welcome.
Outraged and deeply worried resident of M section, and I'm here again to share my concern about the plastics incinerator moving into our community. It puts the health and safety of our families at unacceptable risk and will have a real impact on the value of the home I just bought. I'm a first-time home buyer, and you have an obligation to do right by me and the rest of the over 5,000 who signed their name on that petition. Your constituents, my neighbors and friends, have asked you directly how the Resynergy incinerator has been classified as recycling, thus circumventing the required oversight and input from the people it directly impacts, us. We have yet to receive an answer. As residents in this city, we elect you to represent us and enforce the rules. That means you are monitoring intended versus actual use, and that you will do your due diligence and trust more than just marketing materials when making decisions that impact us. First, on intended versus actual use. From my conversations, the city is shirking its responsibilities of maintaining our code and zoning. Resynergy is not recycling. They are an incinerator that maintains a hazardous materials business plan. When I asked the director of development about it, she shared that it's not her job to police use, and she can't control if a business says they're a restaurant but are actually a brothel. This is a complete dereliction of duty. Looking at plans and documentation to confirm intended use to confirm that intended use falls within parameters of what's allowed in a zone is exactly what her job is. And by allowing Resynergy to make up what they're doing without verification, the city is allowing our zoning to be meaningless and an incinerator to move in next to a school and in the middle of a residential zone. Second, relying on marketing materials when making the decision. During City Council meeting 2 weeks ago, one of you spoke to the concerned residents, including me, and said that you hoped that we would get the emissions data from their illegal operation in Santa Rosa, and you understand the concern with using model data when they have 10,000 hours of illegal runtime, and any error in using models have real impact on our health and safety. After that, an article came out where you were quoted saying that if they were doing damage to the environment right here at this shop, you would be on the front line of trying to stop them. I feel misled and like you are more interested in the profits of private corporation than you are in the health and safety of my community.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
City Council members.
Good evening, is your mic on, sir?
Testing.
Okay.
There we go. Good evening, my name is Mike Pichetti. I'm here to express my deep concerns about Resynergy and its incinerator. I invite everyone here in this room and that's watching to open up their Maps application on your phones and search the address of 300 West Robles Avenue in Santa Rosa. You'll see that this is still listed as Resynergy to this day in your maps. That facility operated from 2020 to 2024 under county jurisdiction, directly across the street from Recology, that same exact company that has now contracted to transport thousands of pounds of plastic for them. Now I ask, if Resynergy claims to be environmentally friendly and emits no more than 1 semi-truck's worth of emission, then why would we bring multiple Recology trucks per day, every day into Rohnert Park in a suburban area instead, rather than across the street from their old former Santa Rosa location? It doesn't make sense. Has the council looked into why the Santa Rosa plant is no longer operating? Well, Resynergy operated with no permits and received numerous violations. I myself went to the plant and contacted the property management named Losk Commercial Real Estate to ask about their zoning, permits, and compliance, and they refused to answer. That silence should raise flags for everyone in this room. And here's something even more alarming. When I reviewed the health risk assessment report prepared for Somo Village, specifically on page 20, the cancer risk estimate regarding Resynergy is listed. What's disturbing to me is that residents, families, and children are all referred to as receptors rather than people. In M section, where many of us live, the risk ranges from 1 to 2.9, but at Credo High School, where our children are going to be going to school, the numbers jump anywhere from 16 to 112.8. Let me repeat that again, 112.8. That is not acceptable in any community, especially not near any of our schools. And just this month, things have gotten worse. According to the public records from the Bay Area Air Quality Management District, in August alone, Resynergy was issued 2 additional permitting violations at their Santa Rosa facility and 3 more in Rohnert Park That is 5 new violations just this month in August alone. A pattern that cannot be dismissed as incidental or administrative oversight. So I ask you this, is this the kind of decision that puts our community's health and safety first? We trusted you to protect our neighborhoods. If this facility is allowed to operate in your homes and schools, then that trust is broken.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before I call the next speaker, please don't interrupt. Can I get Eric Zuter, Kathleen Novak, Justin Flake, Patrick Mundy, and finally, Aaron Burton. Sorry. Thank you. Please, good evening, and go ahead, start.
Hi, my name is Kirsten Van Nuys. I am a longtime resident of this community. I am a homeowner. I am a mother of 3 children, 2 of whom currently attend Credo High School. I can't sleep at night anymore. Ever since I've heard about this plastic incinerator going in next door to my kids' school, I lie awake wondering how I can keep them safe. I have to worry about fire. I have to worry about explosion. I have to worry about cancer. I have to worry about toxic water, toxic soil, toxic air. The possibilities for harm to my kids are endless. Within 500 feet of where they go to school, where they play, where they eat their lunch, every single day, they will be exposed to fumes, dioxins, heavy metals like mercury and lead, PFAs, and microplastics. These are poisons. These are poisons that will settle in both our soil and our water and in the bodies of our children. This incinerator feels like a nightmare and like I can't wake up. I'm terrified, not just for my kids, but for everybody in this town and our community. I'm fearful for the pregnant women and their kids who go and play in the park nearby, and for the grandparents who are there watching them. I've read the studies. I know what happens to communities near incinerators like this one. None of it is good. The fires, the explosions, cancer clusters, asthma, birth defects, miscarriages, short life expectancies, all of this is not acceptable. This does not feel fine. I am not calm. I am raging. And the fact that you are not protecting us and that we have to fight you just to keep our kids safe makes me furious beyond words. You want me to sit quietly while you poison my kids? Not a chance. I'm calling on the city of Rohnert Park to revoke the permit for Resynergy's plastic incinerator. Choose to stop this madness before it's too late. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Come to order. Go ahead, sir. Sorry about that.
Council members, we're here tonight because the Resynergy project was pushed into our community under the banner of recycling. But the truth is, it's a petrochemical refinery, advanced without honest review, without transparency, and without the respect for the people that live here. According to Resynergy's own filings, the facility is designed to process 5 tons of plastic per day. The outputs are clear. About 69% becomes petroleum oil, while the rest is waste. Toxic gas is burned off in a thermal oxidizer, paraffin wax, and over 100 tons of char ash every year. That is incineration, and incinerators are explicitly prohibited in Somo Village. Calling it recycling doesn't change the fact that it violates our own zoning rules. And the city knows this isn't covered by past reviews. The only environmental studies on file are from 2010 and 20, prepared around housing, parks, and offices. They never contemplated a petrochemical refinery operating 24 hours a day, 50 weeks a year. CEQA requires an environmental impact report when new hazards are introduced. Flammable oil, tanker trucks, and gases like propylene and butadiene are new hazards. Relying on decade-old housing studies is not compliance, it's cutting corners. The public process has also failed. City staff signed off on this permit quietly in December. Residents, schools, businesses weren't told until July when the Air District mailed a technical notice. No hearings, no transparency, no chance for the people who live here to be heard. That's not democracy. That is industry being ushered through behind closed doors. And then there's the matter of trust. The lead developer co-founded a company convicted in federal court of pollution crimes and falsifying emission reports. Resynergy itself has already operated unpermitted units here for thousands of hours. That is not a record worthy of confidence. So tonight we demand accountability. At minimum, this project must be taken out of the shadows and put before the people in a full public hearing before the Planning Commission. To deny your residents that voice is to admit you are siding with industry over your own community. The facts are clear. This project is unsafe, it is unlawful, and it was pushed forward in secrecy. I'll end with this. You can call it innovation, you can call it recycling, but at the end of the day, it's a refinery next to our children's school. The council's duty is to protect families, not petrochemical experiments. Approve it and it will sustain your legacy. Deny it and you will be remembered for standing with your community when we needed you the most.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please come to order. So there's an individual that is about to have their car towed out front, I believe. Chief, can you help me here? Oh. Okay, and maybe did you tell the folks out front too? Okay. 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 Sorry about that. Please.
My name is Patrick Mundy, and I'm a Credo High School parent, and I have been a Soho Village homeowner for just over a year. I urge you to open this up to public comment, to a public hearing, and potentially to agendize at the next meeting an item considering revocation of that administrative permit for Resinergy's proposed operation. The operation involves a form of plastic pyrolysis, vaporization of pelletized solid plastic waste by heating it with microwaves to between 800 and 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Their engineering report points out that by weight, roughly 25% of the output of this process will be non-condensable gases, which include methane, butane, propane, and other similar hydrocarbons, which have a few key things in common. They are highly flammable, and if they ignite in confinement, explosion results. The auto-ignition temperatures of many of these hydrocarbons is generally well below 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and in the case of butane, 761 Fahrenheit. When oxygen manages to sneak into the flash chamber where the vaporization occurs, ignition is certain and explosion is extremely likely. In such a case, even if direct human injury is somehow avoided, it will be an environmental catastrophe. For this reason alone, not to mention many others, this is a heavy industry application. Traditional criteria for light industry include low energy usage, low environmental impact, and an output product intended to be sold or provided directly to consumers. Plastic pyrolysis by microwave consumes intense amount of energies, certainly emits toxins even under ideal conditions, and its end product is in no way intended to go direct to consumers. While a traditional recycling intake and sorting operation might possibly be considered light industry, a plastic pyrolysis refinery of any size should not be, in spite of oil and gas and chemical industry lobbying efforts to the contrary, classified as light industry. This equipment does not belong anywhere near Somo Village, nor indeed near any area that contains residential or agricultural zoning, surface water, or soil and substrates permeable to groundwater. It only belongs in a widely buffered heavy industrial zone. I think you all have a solemn duty to do the right thing, which is to deny this facility a permit to operate anywhere other than a widely buffered.
Thank you, Mr. Mundy. Next speaker, please.
City Attorney, are you listening?
Come to order, please. Come to order. You're interrupting the next speaker. I'm sorry about that, sir. Please go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Justin Flake. I am a parent of a Credo high schooler and a resident of Willow Glen. I have a prepared speech here, which I hope to get through, but I want to point out the fact that, from what I understand, this has never been an agendized item in a meeting, and we just spent 20 minutes talking about pickleball. Apparently, it's unlawful to play tennis on a pickleball court, but it's cool for an oil and gas extraction facility to move into our neighborhood and burn plastic and poison us. So there are many reasons that I think are obvious for this permit to be revoked. Way too many for me to go on in the next minute and 37 seconds I have left. But here's a couple. This is not light industry. This was put into a light industry categorization, and it's simply not. This is not recycling. This is oil and gas extraction, and it is refining. The EPA, so I don't know if you know, but the EPA itself classifies Resynergy as a chemical manufacturer and also an incinerator. Simply go to the EPA site and look it up. I mean, that's all you guys had to do, but for some reason, you decided that whoever, I'm looking at each of you, I really don't know. I know this wasn't a vote. I know it was pushed through administrative review, but for some reason, someone decided they know better than the EPA. And it would be okay to change this from heavy industry to light industry to make it fit our zoning and to give favor to a powerful and rich man in our area. So our kids and neighbors' health and well-being will be harmed. All this in a neighborhood whose front man is trying to sell it as green and progressive, where people just bought homes without ever having it disclosed to them that they'd be living next to a plastic incinerator. This is in a neighborhood whose front man is also the CEO of a biofuel company with a history of violations and disregard for public health. Please do the right thing. Reconsider, revoke this permit for the safety and health of our kids and neighbors.
Thank you, sir. Next speaker, please. Good evening and welcome.
Hi, yes, good evening. I'm with SCIU, Local 1021, and our members are here this evening. Of course, we're talking about our recent agreement that we reached. Although we did reach an agreement, there is a lot of uneasiness within our group, and we do view this as a stopgap measure. Just as a reminder, by the time we come back to the bargaining table, in a few months, our unit will be likely about 19% under average to comparable jurisdictions. We also want the city to know that simply saying no, that you don't have the money, is also not acceptable. We want to work with all of you, with our fellow unions, to find and raise additional revenue for now and into the future. And also, it is also partly due to the work of SCIU that additional Measure O funding has been unlocked. So hopefully the cities will apply for that so we could support our homeless services. SCIU is not going away. We're going to continue to advocate both the city council and the city manager to make fair pay a priority for workers. It is because of all work our community priorities can get done. The city cannot build a healthy and fair community off the backs of workers. I also just want to let you all know that over a third of our unit voted to go on strike as opposed to agreeing to this agreement. So that's the most I've had in my 15 years in this 15 years that I've been in this movement. While we also often disagreed with the city's bargaining team, we do want to end on a positive note that we want to thank the city's team for the professionalism, and we want to thank the city council for making some meaningful movement to reach the stopgap measure. And we also want to thank the city council for selling those wins with other bargaining units, because our message has always been equity amongst the bargaining units. Our members have rightly told us that this agreement is not enough, that there must be more done in future negotiations, and we look forward to continuing to work with all of you in the next coming months. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Next speaker, please. But before I do that, can we call up Kevin Arnold, Barbara Marland, Jose Morales, oh gosh, help me here. Gregory T. Schmidt, thank you. And Sharon Wooltich, thank you. Thank you for waiting. Please go right ahead.
Good evening, Council, City Attorney, City Manager. My name is Colleen. I've been a resident nearly 12 years in L section. 49 in the county. Petaluma is my home. I started on Eucalyptus Avenue here in Cotati. That's my presence in this community. I have spent the last 10 days in touch with more regulators and regulation bodies than I have ever in my professional career. I am part of the safety and health sector. I train OSHA, both federal and Cal OSHA, in the state of California as an outreach trainer. The people that I've spoken to have not eased my concerns. In fact, they've done just the opposite. I'm here to raise urgent concerns regarding the Resynergy Plastics facility operating in our community. This facility uses high hazards that are going to impose serious, significant health hazards to our community, and it demands immediate oversight. The CSB, Cal OSHA, Process Safety Management Unit, and the EPA all consider these hazards high in severity. Yet here in Rohnert Park, there is no oversight. Professor James Junkin, a national PSM expert from Columbia Southern University, warns when severity is high, inaction in itself is dangerous, a dangerous failure to your community. If an accident or incident occurs, the consequences are going to be devastating. We're talking about fires and injuries and toxic exposure and property loss. But accountability will not just stop with Resynergy. If the EPA investigates or a grand jury is convened, you city officials who knew but failed to act will be complicit. That means not just the loss of our trust, but this will be political and legal accountability. This council must act now because we are here to hear how you stand on this issue. If not, delay means oversight, and it's not going to come as a partnership. It's going to come as an investigation and hold each one of you accountable. EPA, Chemical Safety Board, I've talked to all of them.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Next speaker. Please don't interrupt the speakers. Hello, Jose.
Mayor Jose Morales. I'm Jose Morales, council members, city manager. Thank you for the opportunity. This facility is not right for our community. I know, Mayor, I could have probably just easily as emailed you like I usually do, but I thought I'd show up and join the members of my community here and speak against this facility. It's not right. It's not right for our community. I know you can't take any actions until this item is put on the agenda. So if we need to email our city clerk so we could put this item on the agenda, we should all do that. Or we could all just email you all to get this item put on the agenda. Because I want to hear where you stand. I want to hear where you stand and when things hit the fan, whether you're going to stand with your constituents or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good evening. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. Thank you for the land acknowledgement earlier today, and thank you for today's proclamation. My name is Greg Schmid. I own a home with my family in L section, less than 1 mile from Somo Village as the smoke flies. And my sisters-in-law and niece own a home 1,042 feet from this facility. Trust. It's what CEO Brian Bauer has asked for from the public. Trust needs to be earned. Mr. Bauer and his company have taken steps to make trust more difficult. Resynergy has been cited for running an operation without proper approval and permits, both here and in Santa Rosa. Mr. Bauer misled about the size of the facility at open house. See his recent application to expand the facility fourfold. Mr. Bauer says that we should trust his computer models that claim this to be a safe process free of pollution, but many third-party experts, as you just heard, are claiming this as an untested process that should be located far from crops, pets, groundwater, and human life. And recently, Mr. Bauer has even hired out-of-area college students to try to drum up support for his so-called, I quote, a recycling center in our neighborhoods without talking about paralysis or any of the concerns of the public. Trust is also what the city has been asking for from us. Whether there is anything to the concerns or not, the appearance of backdoor deals is enough to break trust. The conflict of interest should be enough to ask for a closer look into the approval process. The mayor, who owns a business in Somo Village, shares a landlord with Resynergy, Somo's developer, Brad Baker. As Mr. Baker has a financial interest in seeing this facility running and growing, if the mayor or the council were to speak out forcefully against this project or stop the permits from being approved, it could result in raised rents or even a terminated lease for Sally Tomatoes. But there's also a danger in betraying the trust of the people of Rohnert Park. Endangering our health, our wealth of the people of this city could lead to lost business and even the loss of political support for all of the elected officials who appear to have been untruthful with us during this process. I ask the City Council to revoke all Resynergy permits and halt the operations of the facility. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Before we proceed to the next speaker, let the record indicate that I lease property at Somo Village, and in my 10 years on the City Planning Commission and my almost 5 years on the City Council, I've recused myself from any item regarding Somo Village. Thank you. Please.
Thank you. My name is Sharon Woltage. First and foremost, your charter emphasizes adopting goals and policies that set the direction for our city. This means carefully...
Could you speak up? Thank you. Sorry.
Can we...
Lean in a little. There you go.
Yep. This means carefully considering the health, safety, and financial impact on our residents. Unfortunately, introducing this incinerator completely fails to meet that essential criteria. Let me explain why. Let's start with health and safety. Thousands have been voicing their concerns, including professionals with the EPA and OSHA, warning of the inherent dangers. These are not minor concerns. We know there will be an oops that happens at some point. A spill during transporting the oils and a threat of an explosion will constantly remain. Resynergy was advised that a bomb-proof structure should be used, but this facility is by no means bomb-proof. Somo Village currently lacks the necessary OSHA infrastructure to support this, and our small fire department is not trained nor equipped to handle a toxic chemical disaster. These are glaring deficiencies that put all of us at risk, and I totally understand why every parent would be terrified to have their kids anywhere near this place. Now let's discuss the financial impact. The EPA has categorized this facility as an incinerator. Whether the CEO likes it or not, that is a fact. Do you realize the repercussions this will have on homeowners insurance? This will immediately raise red flags to the insurance companies, and everyone within the vicinity will be recategorized as a severe fire risk danger. In an already unstable market, insurance companies will be quick to raise rates substantially or drop coverage altogether for thousands within a 5-mile radius. Picture the devastating economic toll this will take on our residents. Adding possibly 30 jobs at Resynergy is negligible compared to the wave of financial hardship that will hit your constituents. And businesses in the village, no one is going to want to attend an event, visit the microbrewery, or send their kids to school near Ground Zero. Lastly, let's talk about trust. Resynergy track record is questionable. This company has already faced multiple violations, including a stop work order. And if they already had this many flaws out the gate, how do you expect us to trust them? Trust is earned through transparency and reliability, neither of which Resynergy has adequately demonstrated. The same applies to Somo's village developer. Not a single homeowner in Somo Village was provided the proper disclosures required under law.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate you coming down. So the next 5 people we'd like to bring up, or did I miss one? No. Peter Alexander, Mike Bodley, Alima Konak, Robin Hobbins, and finally, Wilvena Stewart, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. A little bit of levity. This mayor here is surrounded by all these powerful, intelligent, and capable women. I suggest there be a theme song. I think Emerson, Lake, and Palmer's "Oh, What a Lucky Man He Was" might be just perfect. I don't trust the media, and I don't think anybody here should. If you look up Project Mockingbird, it's media manipulation for the last 50 years. I suggest stopthecrime.net. And I also suggest that you're not angry enough, and you're not prepared to do what's really necessary. So you're not angry enough, I don't even know why you're here. Or maybe you should look up Sandy Fonzo berates Judge YouTube, what happened back in Pennsylvania. I'm not going to go into the details, but she lit a match, and after she got done saying what she said, Sandy Fonzo berates Judge YouTube, she didn't get phone calls, kept going for 3 weeks from dawn to dusk, and it's a serious topic that involves children. She was a virtual mother bear outburst. And it terrified the judge, the corrupt judge. So, I suggest you also look up The Big Short, when they stole millions of homes and bank accounts, which is what they're about to do again. And while you're focusing on this without enough seriousness, I submit to you that a simple solution regarding re-synergy is simply bury all that crap in the CEO and board member's backyard. There's your answer. I also suggest you unite with the homeowners that have been losing their properties because of the Sonoma County's, what's that called? Where is it? The permit company, the permit gang of thieves stealing people's properties all over the place, and they have everybody divided and by themselves. It's time to unite, and there's ways to do that, but first it takes the energy. So let's see. And lastly, I suggest you take this entire concert to the Valkyries basketball games with banners and unite with all the other women, because they're the only ones that are going to get anything done.
Thank you, please. Thank you, Peter. Thank you. And I'm hoping that that is Mike behind him. Thanks, Mike.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. My name
Good
is
evening.
Mike Bodley. I am a resident of...
Could you speak up just a little bit?
My name is Mike Bodley. I'm a resident of M Section. I'm here tonight to demand the city take immediate action to revoke the administrative permit that was issued to Resynergy. City staff and council members have repeatedly told me in email and in person that there's nothing they can do once a permit's been issued. It's not true. There's a clear process for revoking this permit. And it goes like this. If the permit was issued on the basis of erroneous or misleading information, any condition of the permit has been violated, or the facility is conducted in a manner that is detrimental to public health. Resynergy's violated all three of these. We all know now that the city issued a stop work order on this facility. The fact that fact alone indicates a violation of the permit. The permit conditions explicitly state that if any violation is grounds for revocation. Resynergy's already been caught violating permit requirements from both the city and has 5 active notices from the Bay Area Air Quality Management District. This pattern of disregard shows that they cannot and should not be trusted in our community. Resynergy obtained this permit under the classification of a recycling facility, but the project is actually a hazardous chemical processing operation. It's not recycling. By misclassifying itself, it gained access to an administrative permit and skirted all the process and scrutiny that goes along with a full conditional use permit. You're not powerless here. There's something that you can do, and I implore you to do it tonight. I'm calling on the City Council to initiate a revocation hearing immediately. To do nothing in the face of repeated permit violations, a stop work order, and evidence of misrepresentation would be a failure to your duty to the public. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm hoping that you are Alima. Welcome. And then hopefully Robin is behind you.
I don't think so, but if Robin will come up, then that'd be great. Hi, my name's Alima Koniak, and I am the student body president at Credo High School. I'm here on behalf of myself, not of my school, but I do hold my school's safety and, you know, all the people in our community in very high regard, and I really care about it. And I feel like this plastic pyrolysis plant going in less than 1,000 feet from where all these children will be learning and breathing and exercising and just living their day-to-day lives is not the best decision. I think that this location can be somewhere else where there is more high industrial buildings surrounding, in a more well-suited environment for this, at least to start. If this is really truly what they are saying, that's great. I think that that is an incredible way to deal with the problem we have with plastics in this world, because it's a very real issue. But I do not think that our students' health and our community's health should be a cost of that learning experience, of getting to the point where we would know for a fact if this is or is not what they are saying it is. So sorry.
It's okay.
This up real quick. Yeah, just really the safety concerns too. Like, it's it really does seem from going to their presentations and their open houses that the mixed information we were getting is not clear, and I don't understand how they are letting that be portrayed. Because if they are truly confident in what they are saying and what they are doing, they would not have conflicting information. And I urge you all, hopefully you can do your own research and really do a deep dive into this project before making any further decisions, because you're hearing lots of information tonight, but of course gaining your own information and understanding is very important as well. And yeah, they described at one of the presentations I went to, the admissions would be equivalent to 3 cars going to Sebastopol and back, like constantly throughout the day. So, which is not okay, and right by a school. We have no idling signs for a reason. There's laws for a reason against this. It's not safe and it's not healthy. And I please urge you to do the research necessary. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out. Robin Hobbins, is Robin here? One more call for Robin. Chief, can you check the hallway out there? Robin Hobbins, Hobbins. Okay, no, we'll go to the next one. Wolvena Stewart, is she? Oh, hi. Would you
Wolven
please tell me your name? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so
it's
much.
Wolven.
Sorry about that. Welcome, please.
Yeah, thanks. Good evening. I appreciate you making time for us
Mayor?
all to speak.
Mayor,
Yeah.
can we have her time restart because it started before she started talking?
Thank you, Jackie. I didn't pick that up.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You have gotten a lot of press around this. It's been on the radio. It's been in the newspapers. That room out there is full. When I got here, I couldn't find parking. A lot of people know about this. So it makes me wonder, where are all the supporters of Resynergy? Where are the science advocates that are showing up to say, we have a dire global plastics problem, and this is a safe, great solution? Where are those supporters? Where are the investors who are saying, this is smart, this is innovation, this is great technology to solve a terrible problem? They're not here. I've been here twice. I was at Credo High. I'm a mother of a kid who goes to Credo High. I'm very concerned about this. And all I keep hearing from the people who are neutral, third-party, science smart, savvy people who have no conflicts of interest, they stated no conflicts of interest, those people say, this is not safe. Plenty of places to look in the world at pyrolysis that has happened and has not been safe. Now they're saying this one will be different. Great, something new. No track record. No way to know what's actually going to happen. Dr. Veena Singla said to us, don't trust models, computer models of how things are going to go. I feel like baffled by this whole process, honestly. I feel like my kid came up to me and said, I have a great idea, Mom. I'm going to jump off the roof and do this crazy thing, and it's going to be really safe because I ran it through a computer model that shows what I'm going to land on and how it's going to all turn out. Computer models is what we're going on here. We do not have track records for how it's gone. So I'm asking you, please, you have so many outs. The gentleman, 2 speakers before me, said you have many avenues to go back and say, no, actually, this doesn't follow EPA, it doesn't follow protocols. We need to revoke.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And finally, I have Karen Hudson. Karen? Please welcome. Yeah, it is. I've got. I'll ask permission.
Okay.
Welcome. Please go ahead and begin.
Thank you. The hazards of a pyrolysis plant are toxic gas emissions, explosions caused by combustible gases leaking from the waste treatment chambers, fires, and leakage or spills into contaminating our groundwater. Rohnert Park is near the Rogers Creek Fault, a major active fault. Geologists have noted its connection to the Hayward Fault and the significant threat it represents for future large earthquakes. In the last earthquake, our house shook and a large crack came across the wall in our living room. Oops. You shouldn't have looked up. A riparian stream runs under Rohnert Park, and 30 to 35% of Rohnert Park's water comes from the city's own system of 30 deep groundwater wells. The fact that soil contamination from the pyrolysis converter would leach into our water sources should be enough to look for a less inhabited area in the middle of the state. In 1998, a German plant suffered a major failure, released pyrolysis gas, and was surrounded by smoke. The entire neighborhood was evacuated and some residents. The Russian oil sludge plant exploded, killing 8, and 8 others suffered carbon monoxide poisoning and brain injuries. In 2014, the nitrogen route in Finland was blocked and incoming gas exploded, surrounding the entire unit with toxic smoke. Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, experienced historical contamination from groundwater with hazardous chemicals and impacted their water supply. Texas, flooding led to runoff from chemical plants affecting their water supply. Safety and pyrolysis became an essential health and environmental security issue due to an explosion caused by a pyrolysis plant in which a large number of people were injured or died. Explosions can be caused by combustible gases leaking from the waste treatment chambers, causing fires. I led a campaign to prevent growing GMOs in Sonoma County, visiting farms spraying cancer-causing chemicals. I was diagnosed with lung cancer.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we've reached the end of my time, our time. However, I have 2 comment cards at the pleasure of the council. Can I just take these last 2? Would that be?
Yeah.
Okay. So Emma Hatter, and I think a relative of yours, starts with an S. Hatter, if you can both come up and just line up. I'm sorry, I couldn't read the first name. What are you Robin Hobbins? Oh, okay. No, I don't have that one. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah. So no, we don't have those. They're at the. It's past the cutoff. They're at the clerk's desk. Yeah. They came in after the thing. Please, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Are you Emma? Okay. Welcome, Emma. No, if you could speak up a little bit louder, that'd be wonderful. Is the microphone on? It is. There we go. There we go.
Hello, my name is Emma Vanderwerf Hatar. Protect those kids who are breathing bad air. We deserve better than this. We need to stop putting poison in the air, whoever's doing it, making them sick and making them stress more. They are doing damage to the environment, people, and to all of us. People, because what they put, that is straight abuse. Place public health first. Stop lying that it's just normal air. It's not. It was better back then when all this started, before this started happening. Stop putting lies and stop lying about there's no bad air, because there is, and it's making the children sick in this world, including everyone and me. God bless you all. That's it.
Thank you. You still have a little more time. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah.
Or is that your mom? She would like to say a couple of things. Go right ahead.
I'm Suhaira Tar. I just quickly want to say, and I have nothing that I've written, I'm just learning now. My daughter has been significantly affected by all of it. the lead poisoning, the plastic, and everything. And she's only 11. She just had surgery. We've been dealing with a lot of different effects, including myself. I'm a cancer survivor 2 times, and now I have to have surgery next month. So we are just the perfect example of what's going on, and they need to stop whatever they're doing in the air and the environment. We have enough pollution as it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming out. Okay. We'll go ahead and move to the consent calendar. Do any of my council members need to pull or make a comment on an item on the consent calendar?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I might, is there any chance we could hear the last 2 people, or are we? I'd like to make a motion that we hear the last 2.
Is that the pleasure of the council?
I'll second that.
Okay. Give me the last 2 cards, please. I can't hear you.
Affirmation.
Oh, all those in favor?
Aye. Anyone opposed?
No.
Passes 5-0. Thank you.
Sarah Page, please. Welcome.
I'm going to be brief, very brief. My statement is simple. We will not be the next cancer cluster, period. We are fed up with your smugness, your arrogance, your lack of transparency, and your lack of respect for us. I'll say it one more time. We're not going to tolerate this indifference from you, and we will not be the next cancer cluster. Thank you.
And I don't think that was Sarah. Did Sarah get a chance to speak? Sarah Page? That was the name that I called. She's on her way. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here and for this opportunity to speak. I certainly would like to see this. Seems pretty obvious that this should be put on the agenda for City Council to address. I don't know exactly what the process is to get this on the City Council meetings agenda formally, but I, like many people here, would like to City Council to take responsibility for the actions that are going to affect all of the residents, the children, the homeowners, the business owners, the pets, the people with compromised immune systems. It seems very much like it's a community problem that would like the city's input and someone to hold accountability. This property was zoned mixed use, and it's not mixed use. So at the very core, this is a zoning issue. The entire process for getting this administrative permit, I got to watch last time, was bypassed. So last week, Marcella, you presented on the process to get something zoned and permitted, and as we know, Synergy bypassed that whole process. So this was not mixed use. Plastics incineration is not a mixed use. It's outside the zoning. CEQA was not followed. Environmental impact report was not followed. There's no accountability from City Hall. This is not a novel technology. It's not in support of the residents. It's not in the community's best interest. And right now we have no one taking responsibility for the impact on the community. There was an exemption that was supposed to happen from the Bay Area air quality monitoring. I don't know why they would get an exemption, and there's no one, it seems, from our City Hall or from anyone in the government that's able to tell us and explain to constituents why that is. Why is this so special that we need to bypass all of our laws and procedures, bypass our zoning, bypass the general plan, and make this more important than every business owner, every child in school, every homeowner, and everyone that would like to go sit out at the brewery on a Saturday and enjoy their lives safely. So that's all I have. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And of course, the council is barred from commenting, but Madam City Manager, would you provide some comments, please?
Sure, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and council members, and thank you, community, for coming out and expressing your concerns regarding Resynergy. As has been explained, they are going through an administrative permit process. And just for clarifications, because I've heard it several times, the company is not operating at this time. They are going through an approval process. And what that means is there's more than 20 conditions that the city has imposed on them through the administrative permit process that they have to comply with. At this time, they have not complied. I know I've heard about violations that the Bay Area Air Quality District has issued to them, as has been stated. The city has also done a stop work order on them so that they can ensure that they are complying. And so right now, that's an active process they are going through. What would happen is if Resynergy does not comply with any of those conditions that the city has imposed on them, then the permit will be revoked. And so, right now, this is the process they're going through. I know that there's been comments about whether or not the city did a process where the community was not notified. As what you have seen, obviously the Bay Area District has provided notification, which is part of.
Please, let's not interrupt the city manager while she's giving an explanation. Thank you.
So I will indicate that the Bay Area did provide the notification that according to how they handle their process is the notification process that they go through. And so that's how the community was informed. And so I will.
That's enough. That's enough. Please finish your remarks. Yes. And then we'll take a 10-minute bio break.
Thank you, Mayor. So I understand, we understand the concerns. Obviously, like I said, the company is also going through a process, given the fact that the zoning, I know that there was conversation about mixed use. The area where Somo Village is mixed use. And so what does that mean is that there's housing that is allowed there along with industrial use, given the formal uses.
Enough. Please do not speak over. Speak the truth. You did not speak over when you were speaking. Now it is her turn to provide an explanation. That's what I've asked the city manager to do. The council cannot comment on this, so please be mature and respectful and listen to what she has to say. After that, you can draw your own conclusions.
Thank you, Mayor. So at this time, they are going through the conditions that were imposed by the city. They have a deadline, obviously, of December to be able to comply with that. As we know, the Bay Area Air Quality Management District did extend the public comment period to October the 3rd, and therefore they will also make a determination. Depending on what that determination is, we will be notified, and if they are not issued the permit, again, that's one of the main conditions that they have to approve. And if they are not in compliance with that, then the permit will not proceed for the company to operate here in the city of Rohnert Park. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll take a 10-minute recess. We'll resume the meeting. Thank you. If we could settle down, we're going to bring this back to order. Okay, we're calling this meeting back to order, and I will turn to my city attorney to provide some legal background for this issue.
Well, my understanding is that there have been a lot of requests, and I even have gotten requests from council members during the break about why we can't schedule a special meeting right now to discuss this topic. Part of the issue is, unfortunately, where we're at with this permit is that it has been issued essentially theoretically, because they do not have a right to operate. They do not. But we also we do not have the authority right now to revoke the permit because they have not done anything to operate the use yet. So if that occurs, that is when revocation is. That's when revocation can be considered. At this point, it's not to say that we aren't reviewing everything. You know, we have been hearing these comments. We are hearing new information. In fact, information that, you know, we weren't aware of before. So we are looking into this. But in terms of what action can the council take right now, there is no action that the council can take. Doesn't mean that there won't be action in the future that the council can take. But to call a special meeting right now for the council to take action, unfortunately, it would be, you would hear all these comments, which we've heard over 2 meetings now, and perhaps more, but there would be no action that the council can take because we are not at the right period right now in the process. Right now, the next hearing that will happen where action will be taken is with the Bay Area Quality Management District. And their hearing is scheduled for October 3rd. That is where all of these comments, and more if you can get them, should be relayed to the Bay Area Quality Management District, because if they don't issue that permit, this permit will be void. So the strongest voice for all of these comments, and they're excellent comments, should be made to the Bay Area Quality Management District. That is where your voices will be heard the loudest. With regard to what the city can do, it's not that we're not doing anything. We are looking into this, but staff is looking into it. When staff has completed its review of all the comments, of all, you know, what is in the application and what may not be in the application that should have been in the application, if in fact that's the case, we are looking into that. That takes time. We need time because this operation, as everybody has stated, it has some significant implications. We are looking into it. It doesn't mean that there's unfortunately action that the council can take right now. So if one of you are going to ask me the question, which I'm assuming one of you may, can we add another item to this agenda for a future date to have a special meeting? My response would be, unfortunately, there's no action for you to take. So I'm kind of sort of preempting any potential questions that I might get from the council.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and move on to the consent calendar now. Do any of my council members like to pull or make a comment on any of the items? Please.
I would like to make a comment, regretting closing my agenda, regarding the stop sign that has been authorized for installation at the corner of Bodway and Camino Colegio. This is an item that many residents had given their opinion on, request for advocacy for improved safety of that intersection. And so I'm very pleased that the development staff has been able to.
I'm so sorry, Vice Mayor. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. So can we just pause? Yeah. Yes, okay. Unfortunately.
Okay. How about now? Okay. I was just saying that regarding the item on the consent calendar regarding the stop sign being installed at Bodway and Camino Colegio, I'm very excited to and appreciative of the staff for revisiting the engineering assessment and determining that that stop sign could in fact be warranted there and will be installed there this September. It's been a safety concern for residents, and so kudos to staff for being able to put that in, and thank you to Public Works.
Yeah, I'll ditto those comments. Thank you very much. Okay.
I'll make motion to approve the consent calendar.
Perfect. Does that have a second? Second. Okay, we'll do a vote of affirmation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries 5-0. We'll go ahead and move on to our first item, discuss proposed amendments to the City Council protocols. Can we have the staff report, please?
Yes, Mayor, that will be me, Sylvia Lopez Cuevas, City Clerk. Just allow me a moment to pull up the PowerPoint presentation. So I'll provide just a short background for our residents. You know, the City Council protocols are the rules to conduct City Council meetings in City Council business that were first adopted in 2008, and they have been amended a number of times because it is a living document that is revised from time to time as we identify gaps. The last amendment happened in June of 2023. And now I'll just give you a quick summary of the amendments that we're proposing you adopt tonight. On section number 1, council meetings, previously, the council gave us direction to change the start time for the council meetings to 5:30 p.m. effective January 1st of 2026. So that change has been made. We're clarifying in section 1B who's authorized to call special meetings and emergency meetings. That will be expanded from being the mayor to the mayor, city manager, or city attorney. Any meetings that fall on legal holiday will be automatically canceled, so we won't come back to council to ask for cancellation. They will be automatically canceled if they fall on a holiday. The agenda packet will be distributed the Friday preceding the council meeting. I'm sorry, I should say Thursday. Yeah, that should be a Thursday. So, but the city manager can still allow the distribution of the agenda the Thursday, the Friday before the meeting, which is, you know, with plenty of time according to the Brown Act. The next section, section number 2, order of business. Previously reduced from 20 minutes to 15 minutes in 2023. We're going back to extending the cumulative time for presentations to 20 minutes. We're adding language that requires all presentations, proclamations to be requested directly to the city clerk. And then the city clerk will work with the mayor and the city manager to add this to an agenda or do an offline proclamation if needed. We're adding additional information to distinguish a proclamation from a recognition or a resolution. We're adding language to clarify the process for adding items to the agenda, specifically that council cannot discuss those items, just, you know, request clarification for purposes of agendizing the item, but not deliberate at the time. Section number 3, rules of conduct. Following the council special meeting on city governance with the city attorney and the city manager, we're adding protocols regarding council efficiency, productivity, courtesy, and respect for other council members. We also made revisions to section 3C6 regarding the conduct of speakers to better align with existing legal requirements. And we also added a summary to assist council members with making motions. This is just included for council reference and convenience. As you know, we already adhere to the Rosenberg's rules of orders, but we're adding a flow chart called at a glance so you can identify easily that process. These were added to ensure that organizational functionality is maintained and enhanced for the benefit of the city. Proposed changes to section number 4 and number 5. We're clarifying that speaker cards and personal identification is voluntary. Section 6, community relations and policies. We are clarifying the use of the city logo and the city seal. We added images so staff can better identify which one is which, because there was some confusion about it. and also guidelines regarding council member participation on off-site events. We also are extending the deadline to provide the City Council quarterly expense report to 60 days. Now we're doing it every 30 days, but it's proven to be really hard because we don't align with the account payable payment reconciliation. Proposed changes to Section 7. As of now, we don't open correspondence sent to council members. So we're just making that language in the protocol so they better align with their current practices.
Can I ask a question now, or do you want to have her go through the?
Go right ahead.
So this, I really appreciate you not opening the mail, but sometimes there's pieces of mail there that were addressed to me from last year that should go to the mayor, and they're sort of official looking, right? So I don't know if there's some discretion that can be used. I probably should ask the city manager, because sometimes it's like, okay, they should open this up and look at it and route it to where it goes. Does that make sense?
Yes, I mean, we can obviously do our best to judge what type of correspondence we're getting, and we can open it if I mean, obviously that's okay with obviously the mayor or the council. We can do that just to make sure. I mean,
Is there anything that would hold us back that if I were to open it, I'm not the current mayor and it's addressed to the mayor, that I can't give it to the current mayor myself?
No.
As a council member?
yes, you can do that.
Is there something that we can do for staff that maybe sends out I feel like you guys already do this, but a notification of folks of this is now our current mayor, so that they can update their kind of records as well as their auto-populating? What I'm concerned about is when will they determine which one? So either they open it all or they don't open it, and we ask them not to open it.
My suggestion will be that the person the correspondence is addressed to will open it, and if they're being addressed as the mayor and they're not currently the mayor, they can email us and let us know so we can notify the person of the name of the current mayor and contact information so they can reach out to the mayor.
All right, thank you.
Please continue.
Another change to section number 7, we are expanding the events that require council notification to include school shutdowns, mutual aid requests, and attacks where lethal weapons are involved, and also hate crimes. Section A, liaison assignments, we updated the language to reflect the current practice the staff does. Okay, I'm reading the same one. Sorry. Okay, we're just clarifying that the mayor may assign city staff to serve as a liaison with concurrence of the city manager. One example is our director of human resources, who serves on the board of directors of CIRA. Proposed changes to section 11, boards and commissions. We are changing the protocol.
I apologize, I have a quick question. Sure. Our human resources director serves on what?
The CIRA board of directors, which is, it used to be the
So this is insurance,
yeah.
okay. Just so folks know.
It used to be REMIF, with Redwood Empire Municipal Insurance Fund, and now it's called the CIRA.
CIRA, okay, thank you.
It's a JPA. Okay. Proposed changes to section 11, boards and commissions. We're just clarifying that the appointees serve a 4-year terms concurrent with their appointing council member's term. So that wasn't in the protocols, but it's been our current practice since council adopted a resolution to that effect in 2017. And also we're adding new language, encouraging council members to make appointments within 60 days of a vacancy. If that is not completed, then the mayor will have discretion to bring forward a nomination with a candidate to the full council for appointment. We're also updating the process for handling unscheduled vacancies, stating that those vacancies are going to be posted according to the MADI Act. And we increased the number of unscheduled absences without cause. That will result in an automatic resignation. Right now, it's like if you miss 3 board meetings, there you're automatically resigned. That's been increased to 4. Section 12, use of the council chambers is now delegated to the city manager. And the appendix is just basically updates with new policies that are in place. So just updating those attachments to your protocols. With that, the recommended action that we're asking from council tonight is to adopt the updated protocols by council resolution, to adopt another resolution setting the start time for the council meetings at 5:30 p.m. effective January 1st of 2026, and the council acting as the CDC, which is the Community Development Commission, change the start time of the CDC meetings from 5:30 p.m. To 5:30 p.m. effective January 6th of 2026. That is the end of my presentation. If you'd like to do questions right now, or I have one speaker card on this item.
Yes, first we'll hear from the public, and then we'll open it up to my fellow colleagues for questions and deliberation. Okay, Steve Keith, please. I'm sorry. I was too busy reading what you wrote and say, okay, what is he saying
I
here?
couldn't even read.
But you'll tell us.
I couldn't read what I wrote. I'm tired, so apologies for the mess. Good evening, Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, and staff. I'm obviously in support of public engagement. I'm in support of public involvement as well, and transparency in the process. All of that being in spirit of the act that requires these meetings take place and are accessible by the public. So whatever decisions that you make, I'd hope that that's the overall, that's what's influencing your decisions that you make as far as any changes that you make. That's all I wanted to do, is give support to, sure, move it to 5:30 if you think more people can make it. That would just be my measure. I mean, I'll be here, but I'd like to see more people here. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you very much. Questions, comments from the council? Who would like to start us off?
Just to thank you, Sylvia, for all your work on this. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?
Regarding the board and commissions going from 3 to 4, what about the ones that meet quarterly, so you can miss a whole year? Are
you referring to the golf course oversight committee? I believe that's the only one that meets quarterly. They have their own bylaws, so this wouldn't apply to them.
Okay. And then another question I had in terms of filling the vacancies, I missed a part, and I could be very wrong, of, I think, and I don't know if we're already updated there, but we wanted to be equitable and consistent and that each district gets an appointee on the ones that have that. Similar to the golf oversight, it wasn't that.
The council.
It is now, but.
Each council member can appoint one member to each committee, board, and commission that has 5, that is divisible by 5. Those board, commissions, and committees that only have 3 members come to council for the majority vote of the council for appointment. So as of now, you can appoint one member to each one of the commissions, committees, and boards that have 5 members.
Okay, perfect. I think, how soon, I'm assuming if we adopt this, then it has to go to consent, then we would start the 5:30 p.m. start time?
At the January 1st, 2026, which is the direction that the council gave us last time we discussed changing the time.
That is correct, I did, but I believe it was brought up, and I could be wrong, that it start sooner than that. Not to you, but it was brought up to me.
Yes, so Councilmember, if we want to start sooner, we would need for the council to direct us to start sooner than January, given that, you know, the last direction that we got was to start in January.
Okay.
But if you want to, I mean, if the council wants to start sooner, we can bring back the resolution changing the time.
So is that something the council would like to entertain?
I would, because I heard comment on it of why would we wait until January. I had given January because people seemed so hesitant, and then I heard comment from some of my colleagues of, sorry, I thought you guys were.
No, I'm okay with starting in January. I thought we needed to kind of let everybody know in the county, go through all that process.
Yeah, Susan?
I thought one of the reasons why we were waiting was because we needed to provide notice around the county and let people know what was going on. I'm happy to wait till January, but.
Jackie?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
With what?
with waiting.
Waiting? Okay. Emily? Vice Mayor?
I had a moment where I just wanted to check what month it was already. I think it's fine to wait till January 1st. We went back and forth, and I think that's what you're remembering too, is that we started with one and it took us a while to figure out what we were doing. So I'm fine with January.
I'm fine with it.
Okay, we'll leave it the same. Any other questions or comments? I think, Emily, do you have any other comments to make, or?
Other than the fact that I love that we clean up protocols every couple years, I really appreciate you doing that. I know it was a lot of work gathering all of our feedback, and I appreciate every single one of those changes. Good call.
Thank you. I appreciate the protracted process. We did some of this when we did the goals and the visioning, right? And then we did more when we did the governance. And then we all had a chance to comment individually back to the clerk. And so, yeah, I really appreciate cleaning it up. And so with that, I will entertain a motion to approve this resolution if someone would like to make it.
I'll motion.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion.
With three different,
Yeah, the first one.
I'll motion to approve all three, to adopt all three resolutions.
Second.
Okay, fantastic. We have a motion and a second. Do we have to take a roll call on this?
not a roll call.
Okay, we'll do a vote of affirmation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none opposed, abstentions? Oh, are you going to abstain?
She was.
No.
My microphone wasn't on.
Okay, all right, but you said aye.
Yeah.
Okay, motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
We'll go on to item 8B, consider adopting a resolution establishing utility rate setting procedures for water and sewer rate under Prop 218 and, more importantly, under Assembly Bill 2257. We welcome our Director of Finance, Betsy Howes. Good evening, Betsy.
Thank you. Okay, good evening, everyone. We are here tonight to propose adopting new utility rate setting procedures. The city may study, review, and adopt new water and sewer rates from time to time. When adopting new water rates and sewer rates, the city is required to comply with the requirements of Proposition 218 for property-related fees. Prior to any rate increase, the city must conduct a notice public hearing to present documented studies to justify the rate amount based on the reasonable proportionate cost of providing the service to each property owner, including tenants, and each one has the right to protest. Under Proposition 218, revenues shall not exceed funds required to provide service nor be used for another purpose. The amount of the fees shall not exceed the proportional cost of the service attributable to the parcel. Service must actually be used or immediately available. The approval process includes a 45-day notice, public hearing, and written majority protest. It does not require a voting process, unlike taxes. However, if owners or tenants of a majority of parcels submit a written protest prior to the close of the public hearing, the city may not approve the proposed rates. So next we're going to look at the city's rate setting procedures. On March 22, 2011, the City Council adopted Resolution Number 2011-25, establishing procedures for the conducting of protest hearings pursuant to Proposition 218 for new and increased property-related fees and charges. These procedures have been used to adopt water and sewer rates
since the procedures were adopted. These items included the current protest procedures, the mailing of public hearing notices, the notice of right to be heard, eligibility to protest, and making and counting the protests. So then what we have now is our proposed supplemental process. Enacted in September of 2024, two government code sections, collectively known as AB 2257, were established to provide an additional optional supplemental procedure for governments. These optional procedures established a formal objection procedure for ratepayers to raise substantive concerns about potential increases. And this is referred to as the exhaustion procedure. These objection procedures were designed to enhance ratepayer engagement and address disputes during public participation periods. If the city opts to use these objection procedures, the city is required to provide a written response to timely written objections. The date by which the city must receive these objections is going to be provided in the public hearing notice. Owners and tenants will have no less than 45 days from the mailing of the public notice to provide the written objections. These written objections and responses will be provided to the City Council at the time of the public hearing. So why do we want to adopt 2257 procedures? Adoption of the exhaustion procedure prohibits a person or entity from bringing a judicial action or proceeding alleging non-compliance with Article 13D of the California Constitution, otherwise known as Prop 218, for rate setting unless that person or entity has timely submitted a written objection that specifies the grounds for alleging non-compliance with Proposition 218. And again, that date will be published in the public hearing notice. So we also have some recommended administrative changes. And the desire to implement AB 2257 supplemental procedures offered the opportunity to review in whole the current protest procedures. Staff has identified and is recommending 3 additional changes to the current procedures. Current section B.2 specifies that the mailing list is to be updated no more than 30 business days before the date the notices are mailed. This particular timing is not a legal requirement, therefore it is being removed. Staff will continue to follow the requirements for the mailing of the notices under Prop 218. Current sections C.3 through C.5 provides several specific examples of identifying issues around identifying property ownership and the filing of protests. This is recommended for removal as property ownership is addressed in the new procedures in Section 4 under requirements for submitting timely written protests. Current section C.7 states that where documentation provided to the city clerk in accordance with section C is ambiguous or unclear, the city attorney shall determine the adequacy of the documentation. This language, in short, is being updated to state that the city clerk shall seek legal advice from the city attorney when needed. And with that, we have our recommended actions. And staff is recommending that the council adopt the utility rate setting procedures for water and sewer rates under Proposition 218 and Assembly Bill 2257, Government Code Sections 53750 through 53759.2, and to repeal Resolution Number 2011-25. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that presentation. Before I turn to my colleagues, does anyone from the public wish to address this body on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll turn to my colleagues who would like to start us off. Any questions?
I have a question. So in the olden days, if somebody came with a certain number of signatures from people in the community, how does this affect that rule that used to be in effect, or is it still in effect?
So we have two procedures now.
Right.
So first we have the written protests, and that's what you are referring to.
Right.
And that is still going to be in effect. So from the time people receive the public notice all the way up to the actual public hearing, people can provide those written protests, and they will be counted, and the clerk will do the tally, as has always happened.
Okay.
Under AB 2257, people have the opportunity to have a written objection. And what we do with the written objection is we have a timeline for them. So within no less than 45 days after us mailing out the notice, they have that amount of time to give us a written objection, and the city is required to respond to that. And so what we will be doing is we'll be extending the time between the first council direction, where you would give direction for us to mail out the notices. The public hearing will be much later, because we will need the time to collect those written objections and do a written response to those. And then at the public hearing, we will not only tally the protests, we will also present to the council the written objections. So it's a two-part process. And so when we respond to those written objections, what we are doing is we are protecting the city from future lawsuits. Should someone want to bring that forward, they have to respond to us or in writing and tell us why we are not in compliance with Proposition 218, and that provides some additional protection for the city.
Does it supply additional protection for the city because they're giving us their protest early? So that means we have plenty of time to review that?
So what that does is it's part of what is called the exhaustion procedure, and people are required to exhaust their administrative protests. And so if they don't give us that written objection, it reduces their ability to come back later, because they did not give us their initial objection in writing during that time. Previously, it was more open, and so what would happen is, maybe a year later or something, someone might sue a local jurisdiction, and so this was added to provide additional protections for governments if they chose to go through this process.
Thank you. Appreciate it. That's what when I was reading through that exhaustion process, I thought, this sounds like it's going to curb lawsuits that kind of come along later and invite people to begin being part of the process much earlier on. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? More questions, comments?
Thank you, Mayor. So what I was reading, this particular agenda item, so many people might not know what is Prop 218 and AB 2257. So is that possible to give like a quick definition of those two? Because we are talking about it, but I know that there will be some people that will come and that really don't understand clearly. Is that a way you can give like a sum up of those two bills, if I can call it?
You want me to do that now?
Yes, please.
I see. Okay. So I'll ask the city attorney to give me a little bit of help.
Yes, please.
You may either take it, or you can.
Yeah, why don't we let?
Why
Why don't I just?
Yeah, exactly.
So Prop 218 was a initiative measure that was put on the ballot many years ago by the Howard Jarvis Taxpayers Association, and required that all fees and taxes go through this process of assuring that all fees are proportionally related to the use that we are charging them for. So it goes through this very complicated procedural steps and analysis in order to determine and to confirm that, in fact, the fees are only being used to provide the service. AB 2257 and actually, I think, Ms. Hose described it perfectly, right? It really is a bill that was put in place recently to provide more protection to cities, similar to the Tort Claims Act, right? Before you can file a litigation for a personal injury claim, they require that potential plaintiffs submit a claim to the city before they go to court, so that the city has the opportunity to determine, oh, should we just pay this or should we have a suit? That's essentially what AB 2257 does with rate setting. It requires that if you have a challenge to a rate that is being set, you must first make that challenge aware, you should first make the city aware of that complaint or challenge before they actually adopt it, not after.
Thank you. I just wanted to have that clarification there for our constituent, just in case. I don't have any questions, so thank you.
Okay, more comments, questions? Anyone? I don't either. So we'll go ahead and have somebody make a motion to adopt.
I'll make a motion
resolution.
to adopt the resolution.
Okay, does that have a second?
I second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second. We'll do a vote of affirmation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Anyone opposed? Abstentions? Seeing none, the motion carries 5-0. Okay, we'll move on to, thank you, Betsy. Thank you very much. We'll move on to committee liaison and reports, and we'll start off with Councilmember Adams, Library Advisory Board.
Thank you very much. We had a Library Advisory Board meeting last Tuesday, and we have some pretty sharp folks on the library board. And we are looking for a couple of new adult members. We have a couple of young people who've joined, but we do need a couple of other adults to join. One of the gal who's the chairman right now bought a house in Santa Rosa. She's still living in Rohnert Park until she gets her house ready in Santa Rosa, but so we're going to need someone to replace her. I just want to talk to really quickly. We did, and I think we mentioned this before, we all had an opportunity to welcome the new little statues over in front of our library, the Linus and Charlie Brown. And so to invite people to go to the library and take a look at that and get a new library card that has the Peanuts gang on the front of it, so. Yeah. Oh, and Petaluma Library is about to reopen too. Did it already open? It opened. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to Councilmember Rodriguez, Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors.
Yep. They've got on Thursday, this Thursday at 5:30 at the Luther Burbank Center's the multi-chamber mixer. There's no cost to that. And Tuesday, September 2nd, there will be a ribbon cutting for La Petite Belline, which is over in the Ross Rayleighstown Shopping Center. It used to be Orange Theory Fitness. They moved Orange Theory Fitness down. So we've got a indoor swimming school going in there. And then on the 3rd, it is noontime. So put it on your calendar because that's also right after Labor Day weekend. Thursday, September 4th, they continue with their Grind and Grow Collective for young professionals, ages 45 and younger. And that's it for that for now.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor, you've got 2 items. Start with the Plain Groundwater Sustainability Agency.
Yeah.
Move on to zero waste.
I'm actually going to start with zero waste.
Okay.
Because
Why don't you start with zero waste?
don't have notes on the other. Zero waste, so we met last Thursday, the 20th, and did a few lovely things. It's always positive in waste management. We made an adjustment to the fiscal year 25-6 budget to receive a $1 million grant from Cal Volunteers to implement the Youth Service Corps program for now through December of 2026 for edible food recovery. So all that good food that would have otherwise been discarded is now being diverted for people to use and benefit. So in the 2 years prior, when we implemented this grant for $2.5 million, it helped the sub-grantee, which is the Conservation Corps of the North Bay, engaged over 230 youth, and they rescued over 330,000 pounds of food. So in this round, it is only $1 million, but they're still going to get a lot done. It's pretty exciting. In this round, they're going to focus a little bit deeper on food insecurity and climate change. And they're going to be able to train 54 CCNB fellows to build on the work of the previous grant cycle. Let's see here, other fun things. We approved the release of a request for a proposal for technical assistance, basically education and outreach, on Sonoma County's disposal food serviceware ordinance. So you can't use polystyrene in takeout anymore at restaurants, but a lot of people don't know that, and it's a tricky system to navigate. So we're basically going to find someone that can help do that technical assistance. So in the 23 to 25 time period, Cascadia was the contractor that did that, and they were able to reach out to almost 200 different businesses to be able to support them and educate them. So their goal this time around is another 100 businesses. And just so you know, there's a form on the Zero Waste website if you want to request some education for your business, or I'll say flag a business that is using polystyrene that needs to make that switch still. So that's at zerowastesonoma.gov. A couple fun events coming up for Rohnert Park. This is a good one. In September, the 12th through the 14th, we're going to have e-waste recycling, and that's going to be at the community center. On the 13th only, there's going to be free mattress collection. So all of that is happening there at the community center. And then toward the end of the month on the 30th, from 4 to 8, they're going to have a household hazardous waste collection. And so for that, think like paints and cleaners that you're not going to use that you want to make sure they get disposed of responsibly. Let's see here, is there anything else? Next board meeting is September 18th. And I'm sorry, I don't have notes on Santa Rosa plain groundwater. I'm not sure if there was an actual meeting.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah.
The tour.
Oh, but this is just the updates right now. I'll come back to that.
Okay, I'll finish us off. Where do they want me to start? Sonoma County Mayors and Council Members, Board of Directors, and the General Meeting. At the Board of Directors, we received a presentation from Chief Cregan about the proliferation of massage parlors that are really functioning as houses of prostitution, and Santa Rosa's efforts to stop that, in particular a resolution that Chief Cregan has developed that will be passed and shared on to the other jurisdictions so that we can prevent that problem from rearing its ugly head in our jurisdiction as well. The main meeting was a presentation on the Potter Valley Dam project. A lot of questions, a lot of unknowns. We were all there to receive it, and we'll watch this thing as it inches forward. Basically, PG&E is planning on decommissioning the power plant, and it has a lot of implications regionally for water service throughout Marin, Sonoma, and Mendocino counties. Moving on to Golden Gate Bridge. Honestly, the bulk of the deliberation was about the mascots, and I've kept you guys all informed. But just to recap, there's a coordinated claim between the Marin and Sonoma County transportation agencies and districts to MTC. It's about a $27 million claim on an annual basis to fund public transportation. Golden Gate's bite of that apple was taken away, or 5.2 million of it was taken away, given to local regional transit operators to operate those services. But it was not given, SMART just got a stipend. They got $800,000 of the 5.2 million. And of course, I've explained that our ferries were not considered as regional transportation. So the long and short is who is the loser in all of this? Basically, people who want to get from San Francisco to Sonoma County after SMART shuts down, that will not be possible. So that's going to affect people who are like hotel workers, nurses, restaurant workers who work late in the city and need to get to Sonoma County. So we'll see how that goes. And then Sonoma County Mayors and Council Members Legislative Committee, that did not happen. Senator McGuire was unable to attend. Item number 6, reports under Government Section Code 53232.3, the state of black businesses. And I think that I had 2 council members that were there. Councilmember Rodriguez or Councilmember Elward, do you have comments or?
Yeah, it was a great event. It was well attended. There was chambers from, I believe it was Sacramento, Oakland, and we had the small business. I'm forgetting her title. Excuse me, Dr. Gray's title. The keynote speaker. It was well attended, and I think highlighted a lot of stuff of what the state has available for any business, really, and amplifying that. So I appreciate that our analysts also saw Paul Carey and Kevin King attended along with our city manager, but they saw the opportunity and kind of said, hey, we should be there. And it was the first one that happened, and they did it here at Oxford Suites in Rohnert Park. So it was great to be able to be there and support a network and kind of meet current and aspiring business owners. And this month is Black Business Month.
Anything to add, Jackie?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that it meant a lot to the Black community, especially Black businesses, because often, we are on the scene and often put aside. And so to have the city being there supported, it meant a lot for the Black businesses.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to communication. Did you have something to add, Vice Mayor? Please.
Yes, I did. On Saturday, I took a, what? You good? I don't know what's going on. Communications. On Saturday, I was able to take a tour of our water facilities with city manager and councilmember Elward. Mark Henderson from Public. You guys are really distracting me right now. I'm sorry. Our utilities fleets operations manager, Mark Henderson, took us on a tour of the water tanks throughout the city. It was a very enlightening experience, learning not just how our water is moved through the city, where it comes from, where it goes, but also the condition of our infrastructure. A lot of it is, I'll say, museum worthy in that it is original. And so, as we think about deferred maintenance, it is such an important thing that we be able to turn on our tap and get water every day. So more to come on what we're going to do with that. But I really appreciate the Public Works team being able to use what we have and deliver services to our community. Okay, all you making googly eyes over here. What did you need to say?
Thanks.
I don't know that we can legally say it, hence why we were trying to figure out what could be done or not. I have communications if we're still on that.
We're still on communications. Yes, please.
On September 13th, so I failed to include this in my chamber report, is the Chili Ribs and Biz event. So that is in partnership with the Chamber and the Rotary Club of Cinema Mountain Twilight. But for your calendars, on September 1st is the deadline to be able to sponsor or get your booth. So make sure that if you're interested that you go to the Rohnert Park Chamber of Commerce website. This Saturday we have 2 big events. So it is the 4th annual Community Equity Foundation's African Soul Festival, and it's the 13th annual Pacific Islander Festival, which are always really great events to attend and enjoy and participate with community vendors. And congratulations to Old Kaz on their 6th birthday. They had a great turnout this past weekend over at Somo Village. Lots of people attended, lots of people drove in, enjoyed the SMART train, walked around the area, enjoyed the vendors, the food, and of course the brewery. And there was one more thing. Actually, no, I think that was it. I don't know.
More communication, please, go right ahead.
Go for it.
What's that?
I was just thinking about SSU is having a job fair. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow, but without looking at a calendar, I can't tell you the specifics.
Lisa's nodding her head yes.
Yep, Lisa says yay. Tacos and job opportunities is what I read.
And this Friday is our last farmer's market of the season.
Okay, any other communications? All right, adding agenda items to a future city council meeting, anyone? Okay, seeing none. Public comment, we do have, let me get my specs on here.
Mayor, excuse me, I passed you a card from a commenter who already spoke on this item during the first period.
Okay, so what is the protocol?
Well, it's inferred that if you're speaking on the same topic during public comment, that you're not speaking on the same topic, that you're speaking about a different public comment.
Okay, this is on the same topic. So let me take a look at the next one.
But it's not on the agenda, does that matter? Well, they're both not on the agenda. They're both public comments.
Okay, and did the second commenter have an opportunity to speak? No. So I'd like to call up Dory Ellis, please.
Hi, thanks for having me tonight. I am a parent at Credo High School. I'm readdressing Synergy again. I wanted to ask, can I ask you a question since you're not part of the Brown Act?
No,
So I cannot.
I mean, it would be up to the chair.
Well, because you were able to speak earlier, I thought maybe I could ask you a question, but that's okay.
At their request.
So in reference to what you spoke about, having violations, even though Synergy has had a violation for operating under 2 different hours, one for 10,000 hours, one for 1,000 hours, that does not apply to the city being able to revoke their permit? That's one question I have that should be addressed to the people because it's a valid question. The second comment is, we know that it's light industrial, the use of that land and what it is zoned for. Why are you guys not revoking it on that fact alone, when clearly by now, I know you've probably done your own research, I know some of you have been quite an advocate for the process and know what the process is, because we've seen you at tours at the facility. Why is that still not being directly addressed? That this is not light zoning. We know pyrolysis is not light zoning. We know microwaves aren't. We know oil is not. Tea, spices, that's light zoning. That's what's there now. This does not fit into that under your guidelines that are on your website for light industrial and under other guidelines that I've looked at and done research on. Why aren't you revoking it for that reason alone? It's not what they say it is. It's not recycling. It's not that. And that is the only word that fits with light industrial in your definition of light industrial. And we know that it's much more than that. It's not recycling. It's hazardous waste on site, next to children, next to homes. You should address it. It's important. And instead of addressing street signs and chili cook-offs and things like that, address the thing that's really the elephant in the room at this point, the elephant in Rohnert Park. That's all I have.
Thank you. This meeting stands adjourned.
I had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Could Madam City Attorney be able to address if there is a violation, whatever it is, in any permitting process, or how does that all?
No, it's a good question, and I'm not, if you're, are you talking about the stop work order that was issued? And that is within their jurisdiction, so we don't have jurisdiction over them issuing. We only have jurisdiction.
Show that they worked and were outside your permitting process too.
And that would be a code enforcement issue, not necessarily revocation.
Isn't that a whole city issue?
And that is something that, you know, we may be looking into, right? So. But in terms of,
every time we ask the hard questions, it's tell Peter to who'll tell Paul who'll tell Sue. Like, answer the questions. I answered the question.
You answered the question?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This meeting is adjourned.
Mayor, may I have 1 minute to switch? I'm ready, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Yes? Yes? Okay, call this meeting to order of the Rohnert Park Foundation. Kindly call the roll.
Director Adams,
Here?
Director Elwer,
Here.
Director Rodriguez,
Here.
Vice Chair Sanborn,
Here.
Chair Judice.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Madam City Manager, would you like to proceed with your?
Yes, thank you, Chair. So the request before you is consideration for a $2,000 request to,
My apologies. There's an item on the consent calendar for your adoption.
Okay, can we have a motion
I'll
to
make
approve?
motion to approve.
Is that a
consent
second?
calendar.
I'll second that.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion carries 5-0. Now please proceed with your item.
Thank you, Chair. So the item before you is a request to appropriate $2,000 from the Rohnert Park Foundation to be able to purchase and replace some community nonprofit and also Sonoma State signage that is within the frame of what you see underneath. There's, if our city clerk can pull it up, there we go. So that to replace the signage that you see there, it's faded, it's dated, and so we would like to freshen up this signage. And we are requesting a $2,000 appropriation from the foundation, which does have a fund balance to be able to cover this request. So you see here on the screen the signs that we are proposing to replace. And that's my presentation.
Okay, do we have anyone from the public wishing to comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council. Any questions or a motion to approve?
I have a question.
Sure.
Is that just the only one that we're gonna change, or because I've seen multiple signs throughout the city that need to be repaired?
So at this time, these are the signs that we are replacing. In fact, right now, our staff is, in particular, Mr. Carey, is working on getting a inventory of the different signage. We actually don't have a uniform look for signage. And so what kind of prompted us starting to look at our signage throughout the city has been, you may recall that a couple months ago, or actually it was, I believe, last year, the signage on the expressway was actually, somebody unfortunately crashed into it. And so what kind of prompted us to start looking at our signage and looking at the fact that we don't have a uniform look throughout the city. So we will come back with some recommendations as to how do we freshen up some of the other signage. Obviously, this is a nominal cost for us to do, and it's really going to benefit. Also, our Public Works team is going to be painting the frame that you see, the brown, so they're going to be freshening that up as part of this process. But the plan is for the future for us to bring back some recommendations on what type of signage we want to have throughout the city so that we kind of start having a uniform look out in the community.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question.
Other questions?
Yes, there's a sign in front of, as you're coming into the community center off of Snyder Lane, you know, the sign for the community center there. And there's a couple of other signs like that around town. That started to be, in 2020-ish, 2019, the beginning of the look of the uniform sign. So are we going to are we looking at that? Or is that kind of what he's going to take inventory and then come back with some suggestions? So I really like the look of that.
Yeah, so that's part of the inventory that we're doing is we are, I mean, even for our parks, as we are looking at our park signage, if we can start getting into that uniform look. But yes, you will be surprised to see the different types of looks and designs that we have throughout the city. And so we will come back with a recommendation as to what kind, even color, right? I mean, you see that in certain cases we have blue, we have green, we have just different colors throughout the city. So the plan would be that as funding permits, that we start looking at the signage throughout the city.
I'd like to make a motion that we allocate the funds for this project.
I'll second.
Okay, has a first and a second. Any questions? Do a vote of affirmation. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries 5-0. Anything further to report, Madam City Manager?
We do have another item. It's another request for $5,000 for us to be able to this is actually a partnership with Sonoma County, and it is to install a vending machine. Even though it's identified as a vending machine, the items that are within this vending machine are actually free to the public. It's wellness supplies, and they have asked us if there's a possibility that we can install one in our city, which we're very excited about. I know they're rolling these out throughout the community. And the designated area for this is in between the People Services Center and also the Senior Center. So you see there the box. So the reason why you see the request for $5,000 is for us to be able to upgrade the electrical so that we can accommodate this vending machine. The county will be responsible for supplying the vending machine, and also they will be responsible in case it is damaged or there's any graffiti on the actual vending machine. They will take care of that. And so that's part of the MOU that in fact you approved as part of your consent agenda for your regular council meeting. So we're very excited to be able to have this available in this particular location. And so we ask that you consider the $5,000 request. Again, there is funding, fund balance available through the foundation for us to be able to accommodate this request. Thank you.
Questions from council, please? No. Okay. Comments? No?
I just have one question. Do you know how people will learn of its location? I don't remember reading that anywhere.
So after action is taken, obviously we council just approved the MOU, so we will put the information out. As you can see, it's also in an area where we do have individuals that come and access services of the People Services Center and also the Senior Center. So we will, our staff will be advertising that we have this available as soon as it's installed. Thank you.
Any other questions, or I'll entertain a motion?
I'll motion.
Anyone wishing to comment from the public on this? Seeing none?
I'll motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second this one. Oh, Emily
Okay.
will second.
Okay. Vote of affirmation. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries 5-0. And any communication? Okay, this meeting is adjourned.
Yes, thank you.